Hard Rockology Radio. The song is called Echo from the band Trapt. And on our phone line from the band, Chris Taylor Brown. Chris, thanks for taking time out to join Hard Rockology Radio. How are you today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I am doing good myself, just busy. You know, it's a never-ending process trying to get the word out about a lot of great bands and music and stuff. And to see if you got it all covered, it's just another band pops up that you got to cover too.
Yeah, there's so much going on these days.
So you guys have a new record. It's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks called The Acoustic Collection. What was the process behind getting that together? I mean, I know the fans have been asking for an acoustic album. Just occurred to you guys and say, hey, this might be the great time to do it right now?
Yeah, you know, we were writing songs for the new album for the last few months, our new album that we're going to have out mid-next year, hopefully. And, you know, just thinking about the writing process and all that kind of stuff, the fact that we usually come up with songs and write out most of it with acoustic guitars, and thought about, you know, how things would sound if we just would have kept it in that way, you know, that writing form, and just kept it as an acoustic and recorded final versions like that. And so, you know, we went back and just kind of remembered how we put those songs together and what we would have done had we tried to make them for, you know, the acoustic, you know, setting.
Well, I did hear a couple of tracks off the record, and they are a lot different from, say, the original recordings, which makes it a lot more interesting, I think, in a way, and it gives it kind of like another version of the song. I know another band that does a lot of that is Shinedown. They record, and then they do a lot of acoustic stuff, which kind of gives the fans, I guess, two different versions to choose from.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's just different vibes, you know. One's stripped down, one's got all the bells and whistles, you know.
You guys have a lot of songs to choose from, and there's 13 on the record. So how did you go about narrowing it down to only 13?
Well, we picked, you know, the first batch of songs that we could think of that really started out on acoustic guitar, and most of the song was written that way.
So I did notice that there's one album that isn't represented on the acoustic album. That's the No Apologies album. Is there a reason why there's no songs off that record on this one?
Well, that one, you know, a lot of those songs were written, you know, in like a full band kind of setting where we're all jamming together and that kind of thing. And, you know, so, I mean, there was some songs that, I mean, yeah, most of the songs really kind of came about with, you know, kind of like electric guitar in mind from the beginning. You know, there's definitely going to be songs that we hope to, you know, do on a second round of acoustic songs, and there's definitely a song there, the title track No Apologies, that I think would sound great acoustic. We'll probably do that on another volume of these acoustic tracks, you know.
So, you guys are currently on tour, a little break right now, and it's an interesting name for the tour. It's called the Self-Titled Tour. I mean, that's pretty original. I kind of like the idea. So you came up with that idea too?
Yeah, man. As a band, we came up with you know, all the game plans that we see through, and, you know, all the tours and all the tour names and all that kind of good stuff, you know. We're all about having control of all that, you know. So
on the Self-Titled Tour, when it kicks up again in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks, is it going to be an acoustic show, or is it going to be just what you guys have been doing prior to that?
It's definitely going to be a, you know, full electric show, you know.
Okay.
But you know, we're going to be putting together definitely a kind of acoustic set for, you know, later this year, early next year, to put together and take to a few cities and see how it goes, you know. Okay,
I was going to mention the fact that you got that new album coming out too, the D&A album, right?
Mhm.
Okay, now how did that go about? You had a campaign going on, you raised a lot of money for that, so tell me a little bit about how that went about.
Well, yeah, we're really excited about that. We just wanted, you know, a handful of our most hardcore fans to get a chance to be a part of the record-making process with us. So we thought, you know, what other better way than to put together something online where people can, you know, basically help us finance the album and just be as close to, you know, the process as possible. So we allowed that, and also are going to be able to show fans, you know, clips and pieces of songs as they're being recorded, so that they can really see what's involved with a song starting, the process, from like acoustic guitars and this and that to actually being, laid down in the studio and pulled together and into a final song. So we're, going to get their opinion on stuff as we go about it in real time,
So do you think the fans actually really know what goes on behind the scenes in a studio? I mean, how much hard work it actually takes to write a song? I mean, or do you think most people do, or do you think they just think that, I sat around one day, wrote a song, and boom, it's done?
I think, I'm sure that's how it's thought to have happened, but there's definitely so much work behind in so many different incarnations of a song or of a part that you don't really get to hear or see as a fan or anyone outside the studio. You really can only know the formations and the evolution of a song as you're writing it, if you're a part of it right then and there. So we're going to try to let fans in on that whole process and to see how it's done.
I think it's an extremely interesting process because I'm always fascinated by what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, there's probably a lot of arguing here and there about, hey, I think this is good, I don't think that's good. And then to have the fans be able to see all this and see actually how a song is constructed, I think it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah. So we're going to try to document as much as we can into a digestible format, And
in the name of... Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you had a camera on the whole time, it would probably be a lot of long stretches of some boredom where you just watch someone play a part over and over again until they do it perfect,
Yeah, exactly. So the name of this record is going to be called DNA, and that's coming out, I guess, early next year, or is it going to be coming out relatively quick also?
I would think, March or spring of next year.
Okay, that's interesting, and the fans have a big say in that, and I had this great idea for the album cover. I mean, because I noticed a thing on Facebook that you don't like selfies. So I was thinking, hey, why not have all the fans take a selfie picture, send it to you guys, and boom, that's the album cover.
Yeah, perfect.
That'd be interesting.
Totally.
Also, you worked with a lot of producers on past records, and you finally had your hand in producing the last record. So what was that like? I mean, because you worked with John Kay, you also worked with Garth Richardson, and I mean, did you guys take a lot of advice from those guys and put it to what you did on the last record?
Yeah, of course. Everything that I've learned over the years, I've put into putting together this Reborn album for sure. Same with the acoustic album. So you just learn techniques and you learn things over the years through different producers and people that you work with, and you retain a lot of that hopefully and put it to good use.
But is it like difficult to like produce the record too, as opposed to you're already singing on it and playing guitar? So I mean, is it just a lot more work for you, or do you enjoy that part of it?
Yeah, it's just you have a vision of what you want your music to sound like, and you just try to make sure that you stay true to that vision and see it through and have it be what you hear in your mind, have that be what people hear out, when they hear the finished product. So that's really all we think about, and as far as production goes, and as long as you've been around that kind of stuff, which we have, with great producers, you can take all that and make it your own, and be able to create whatever kind of sound you want to create.
Now, the band recently, you guys decided to get rid of the major label and kind of do it yourself. I mean, how's that experience been so far?
It's been, it's basically a lot more work for sure, but, it's rewarding to be able to call your own shots and, be able to create whatever kind of art you want to create.
But was it more or less? Was it becoming a problem being on a major label? Because I know every band that I try to cover, they're all unsigned. They want to get on a label. I mean, is it really that big?
Well, there's a lot of a lot of ways for bands to get their music out these days, and you can just stay original and do what you want to do, and not have anyone over your shoulder telling you, what they want to hear in your music, because they're the ones paying for it.
Yeah, so I guess I get that part of it. I mean, the label's putting up the money for you guys to make a record, and they're going to have some say in it. So you guys pretty much said, you know what, I think we learned enough, so why don't we try it on our own? We don't have to answer to anybody. But like you said, it's a lot more work. I mean, how much more work actually is it?
Ask anyone who's just works their label and markets bands, how much work they do just on their end, and then you have to add that to performing and being in a band. So it's a lot of work for sure.
So all you guys take turns of taking care of that?
We there's definitely people that we hire that are great at what they do and help us a lot. Basically a lot of the bigger labels do the same thing. So we kind of end up working with some of the same people that we used to work with anyways when we were with the bigger labels.
I'm still a very big fan of the first record. I mean, when that came out in 2002, I believe, I know you had a couple of records before that, but I mean, were you guys surprised at the reaction from that first album that you did?
I just think it was something that we were all hoping for, and we're blessed that we were able to reach a large audience with it. And
then you have the cover with the guy mowing the lawn. Tell me a little bit about that story, about the album cover.
We just thought that was a good picture of suburbia, where we kind of grew up.
Okay, so what can fans expect for the rest of 2014? I mean, you got this acoustic collection coming out in 2015. You got the other record. I mean, you guys going to be on the road a lot?
We got a couple weeks left, starting September 21st in Hollywood, and then we got a week in the UK that we're doing, and other than that, we're just going to be writing.
What advice would you give, like, a young musician starting out, just getting their feet wet, starting up a band? I mean,
I would say write a lot of songs before you take them out to have people listen to them. Just get real good at what you do.
You got an experience the first time playing in front of people? What was that like?
It was a blast, It was something we wanted to do, and we got to do it a bunch, and we played for a few hundred people for a few years, and then, got a record deal and used the radio to gain even more fans. So, I think it's just all about making sure the songs are great before you take it out to a big audience.
Yeah, because that's going to let you know right away if they're into it or not, pretty much by the reaction from the crowd, correct?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, just I would just say write as many songs as you can.
Yeah, you guys a couple of years back were on the Crew Fest. What's your thoughts on Motley Crue finally calling it a day?
They're awesome at what they did back in 2008 when we played with them. They're I think at this point they've done a lot for rock and roll and metal and all that stuff. So more power to them.
Okay, Chris. Well, I want to thank you for being a part of the Hard Rockology radio program, and if you would, why don't you take us out of this segment with a song of yours?
Oh, okay. Why don't you play Love-Hate Relationship?
Okay, Love-Hate Relationship on Hard Rockology Radio. Once again, Chris, thanks a lot.
Right on. Thank you.